Axon Pro Lite Review. The Axon Pro Lite is a grand case of the folding bicycle, but, even better, it arrives with a battery and engine. Unluckily, since this e-bike is so tiny, it can be tricky to navigate, particularly off of level surfaces. But, it's been strategically constructed so those dainty outlines make it easier for you to utilize on public transport. In fact, with training, the e-bike can be collapsed and expanded within less than 10 seconds. The Axon Pro Lite stands up to its name as well, and at merely 15 kilograms senses much lighter to hoist than many competitors. Though you might not desire to roam too distant on it, the Axon Pro Lite is therefore an impeccable choice for short travel, particularly if you're searching for a powered bike. Simultaneously, there are no gears to fret about. It's a straightforward system, but usually fairly successful. When I took the Axon Pro Lite out of its packaging, amazed at how petite it was. Despite its size, this electric bike still offers a motor and battery-powered system. The designers have done an incredible job. It is also noteworthy how straightforward it is to assemble, with a frame that splits into two and is held together using a clamp. The handlebar stem does the same and snaps together when clasped. The seat can be lifted from the frame and locked in an instant. One must set up the pedals before the first ride, yet these are the kind that unfolds, making carrying and stocking the cycle worry-free. After folding it, it is securely sealed by means of magnetic seals to keep it from becoming undone. The Axon Pro Lite was ready to ride very quickly, yet the front tire needed to be pumped up, and this revealed one downside of smaller wheels. Getting a pump nozzle onto the valve was hard, especially on the back. The Axon Pro Lite is simple to operate, and its design, though unusual, includes all the necessary features. For example, it has a mudguard at the back of the wheel that reduces the amount of water spray when riding in wet weather. It also comes with an additional small one at the front. The craftsmanship of the Axon Pro Lite doesn't resemble that of an average e-bike. It's an original structure that doesn't fall short when it comes to relishing a ride. There is even a fine seat included. Plus, it's single speed, so there isn't any shifting device to stress over or gears to learn. The computer on the right-hand side of the handlebars has 3 power modes. This setup is neat and concise, and the small power button tab right below it gives you the opportunity to ride with bursts of energy when required. Before you start your first ride, make sure you know how the Axon Pro Lite works, including the little lever under the computer that activates an extra burst of power. Before taking off, it's a good idea to make sure that all of the folding clasps on the Axon Pro Lite are locked in properly. You'll also want to pump some air into those small tires for a smoother ride, since there is no suspension system. These wheels are so small that they may be a struggle for inexperienced riders. That said, you'll have no issues riding in a straight line. However, any angled or curved turning, such as when crossing dropped curbs, could require extra care and awareness. If you're on smooth and well-maintained roads, the lack of suspension and minimal contact with the road may provide a decent ride. However, if the surface is bumpy, your journey will be jostled and uncomfortable. The Axon Pro Lite worked acceptably on gravel trails, but the uneasiness is amplified when you take a corner. Undoubtedly, this bike is not conceived for any unforeseen or sporadic handlebar motions. Twist those bars overly much and the bicycle can be quite testy. That is not a censure to the Axon Pro Lite, however, more of a comment on the disadvantages of a diminutive wheel and frame blueprint. In addition, the Axon Pro Lite proved to be good in a straight line and had ample power to carry the load. The power delivery wasn't always great, as it was a bit unclear until you become familiar with the bike. But when it kicked in, the e-assistance felt very smooth, suggesting that the torque sensor couldn't respond very well to abrupt starts. The ease of use with a single speed and no gear shifting was especially enjoyable. The e-bike is great for taking on and off in areas like town lobbies. The seat and handlebars are flawlessly aligned, while the folding points in the design feel very secure while under power via 3 different levels of pedal assist. In addition to a horn and built-in lights to alert fellow road users, this computer also features an LCD screen, providing a clear display of essential trip information like speed, mode, and more. This e-bike may be small, but it's surprisingly capable. Axon Rides advertises a range of 25 miles, which proves to be accurate during testing. Charging your bike is quite convenient, since you can plug it into the saddle to turn it on or off. On average, the process takes about 3.5 hours, however, there are some downsides to having such thin and small wheels.